Hello everyone, this is Julie from the Yuma Main Library, and September marks the celebration of Banned Books Week and Hispanic Heritage Month. In an effort to commemorate both Banned Books Week and Hispanic Heritage Month, I thought it'd be an excellent opportunity to share some classic titles by Latinx authors that have been challenged or banned in libraries and schools. Each year, National Hispanic Heritage Month is observed from September 15th to October 15th to celebrate and honor the histories, cultures, and contributions of Hispanic and Latinx people in the United States. Reading books by Hispanic and Latinx writers is a perfect way to learn more about the Latino culture and honor the contribution of Hispanic and Latinx writers to the canon of American literature. Banned Books Week is an annual event that celebrates the freedom to read and is typically held the last week of September. It was first launched in 1982 and spotlights current and historical attempts to challenge or ban books in libraries and schools. Banned Books Week highlights the importance of free and open access to information and brings awareness to the dangers of censorship. The following books have all been challenged or banned, but they are important novels to read because they speak to the Latinx experience and are captivating examples of beautiful storytelling. The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros is a coming-of-age story about a young girl named Esperanza growing up in a Mexican-American family in Chicago. Through a series of vignettes, we see as Esperanza enters adolescence and begins to face the realities of life as a young woman. This novel is perfect for any reader who enjoys reflective stories about authentic and complex characters that touch on the themes of poverty, feminism, and identity. Challenges to ban this novel have been due to its themes of poverty, sexuality, and sexual assault, and racism. In 100 Years of Solitude, Gabriel Garcia Marquez chronicles the fortunes and misfortunes of the Buendia family over 7 generations in the isolated town of Macondo. Through lush writing, readers explore the tangled narrative of the large cast of characters in this family saga as they experience intense romances and encounter political intrigue, civil war, and globe-trotting adventures. The novel is considered to be the most famous example of the literary genre of magical realism and earned Gabriel Garcia Marquez the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1982. This novel has been challenged and banned because of offensive language, disrespect for religious and political authority, sexual explicitness, and emotionally disturbing scenes and themes. How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accents by Julia Alvarez tells the story of 4 sisters and their family adjusting to life in the Bronx after they are forced to flee the Dominican Republic in the 1960s. This novel is for any reader who enjoys vivid characters and evocative storytelling about the struggles of family life and growing up. How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accent is a heartwarming novel that masterfully portrays the difficulties and joys of the immigrant experience. However, the novel has also faced multiple challenges and been banned for being sexually explicit and containing profanity and descriptions of drug abuse. Blasphemy Ultima by Rudolfo Anaya is the most widely read and critically acclaimed novel by a Chicano author. The novel centers on Antonio Mares y Luna, a young Mexican-American boy living on the eastern plains of New Mexico in the 1940s, and his relationship with Ultima, the curandera that comes to live with his family. Blasphemy Ultima is a haunting and lyrical novel that explores the loss of innocence and the journey everyone must take to understand who they are. The novel is featured on the list of most commonly challenged books in the United States, and has been challenged due to profane language, sexual explicit content, and witchcraft. Isabel Allende's novel, The House of the Spirits, tells the story of 3 generations of the Trueba family. Against the backdrop of revolution and counter-revolution that mirrors political events in Chile, Allende brings to life a family whose private bonds of love and hatred are more complex and enduring than the political allegiances that set them at odds. This novel is perfect for any reader that appreciates a captivating and dramatic novel that follows the triumphs and tragedies of a large cast of complex characters in the midst of a social and political revolution. Despite it being considered one of Latin America's greatest pieces of work, The House of the Spirits appears on the list of one of the most commonly challenged books due to its sexual explicitness and graphic descriptions of sexual and rape scenes. In The Devil's Highway, Luis Alberto Urrea tells the true story of 26 men who attempted to cross the Mexican border into the desert of southern Arizona. Only 12 of the men would survive the journey. The Devil's Highway is a devastating account about the men's astonishing courage and strength as they fought to survive against impossible odds. This book is for any reader that wishes to learn more about the complexity of our immigration policy and its consequences in a well-crafted and powerful narrative. The Devil's Highway was included on the list of about 80 books that were banned in Arizona schools due to its inclusion in Arizona ethnic studies programs curriculums. Luis Rodriguez's memoir, Always Running, is a searing true story of his life in a Chicano gang and his heroic struggle to free himself from its grip. Rodriguez sought a way out of this life through education and the power of words, and has achieved success as an award-winning poet. This vivid memoir explores the motivations of gang life and cautions against the death and destruction that inevitably claims its participants. This story is for any reader that appreciates an uplifting true story filled with hope and insight and discusses difficult and brutal topics of racism and social inequalities. The memoir has been challenged multiple times due to its graphic descriptions of violence and sexual explicitness. If you're interested in learning more about banned books and censorship, here are a few titles that cover the topic of the history of the censorship of books. If you're interested in reading more books by Latinx authors, here are a few titles to explore. Or if you want to read more banned books, these are four titles that have been frequently challenged or banned. All these titles are available to check out via curbside pickup or on our digital collections. Thank you for joining our digital programming today. Hopefully this list provided you with some new titles to consider when figuring out your next read.